Strategy and Global Studies, Universitas Indonesia. And the first topic that we are going to discuss today is the threat worth the money, a study on sustainable tourism. So, Ibu Zora, the floor is yours. Please take the microphone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator, Mr. Ibrahim. Can you hear my voice?
Very clear from here.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening from America. I'm in Seattle at the moment. I'm sorry if the signal is not very good. So I try to, due to the time limitation, I try to make my presentation really condensed and also clear. So I will jump into the slide that is important, because I make so too many slides, and knowing that it's only 8 minutes, I will go directly to the important points. Any administration that maybe can help me share, because I already shared my PowerPoint earlier today. Okay.
So anyone can help? Yeah, okay.
Okay. My research this time, along with Mr. Stanis and also Prof. Ketut, is about is the threat worth the money, because there is always a debate about if tourism can actually bring some benefits to the country, or maybe even worse, making the country even worse, like making so many mess, and also catastrophe, disadvantages, etc., etc. Like the case of Bali, for example. More people coming, more tourists coming, but then in the other side, the Balinese people, the Hindu people, think that so many sacred place that is actually being demolished, the temple, the place that in the cliff being demolished for the sake of tourism. So in this paper, I'm using literature review along with my other authors to bring the good and the bad side of tourism, and then also how to manage to make a profitable effort, yeah, in the tourism. So the answer actually is a sustainable tourism, which is in the next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. So there is a term called ecotourism. In ecotourism, a country should be responsible for when welcoming tourists. They also have to build that area into a green place. Yeah, so it's called green tourism. Also, like, so it's not just money, make the tourists come, but making the tourists come, but actually it's also how to build that place to not making a mess in that place. Next. These are the benefits of tourism. Next. Economic benefits, of course, because people come with money, but there is a issue now in Bali that most of the Westerner coming from Russia, Ukraine, it's not making money. I mean, not bringing money to Indonesia, but actually they want to escape from the war. So now Ukrainian and Russian people live side by side in Bali, become neighbors because they run away from the war in Russia. So this, of course, is outside the plan of why the government welcoming Russian tourists and Ukraine tourists. Next. And also, tourism is good for cultural exchange and appreciation. Like, for example, why the case of Bali, for example, why people don't go to Lombok much. I mean, not many tourists go to Lombok. They still choose Bali as a final destination. I mean, the targeted destination. Why not Lombok? It's because, according to our interview in the field, they said that Lombok people still doesn't know how to do adjustment in the cultural exchange. Balinese people are the best in Indonesia to do the cultural exchange. So this is one of the benefits. Next, environmental conservation. So while tourists coming to a land, to an area, uh, of course we will support the temple building of, like in Bali, for example, the uh, uh, GWK or something, the Garuda something. It's how we try to make Bali more authentic and building some temple or authentic buildings. Next, infrastructure development, of course, because tourists coming to one place, it make the government develop the infrastructure. Next, encouraging global peace, of course, like what happened in Bali. There is a Russians and there are Russians and Ukrainian live side by side there to escape the war. So we Indonesia actually contributing in building peace between Russia and Ukraine because of people from their countries going to Bali. Next. Now the negative impact. Next. Degradation in the environment, of course, like so many abused island and pollution in the beaches in Bali, too much trash and uh, 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 the, the local Balinese people, they feel like this is tourism is not making us profitable, but it's actually making us more suffering and miserable. More. Next slide. Next slide. Cultural erosion, commercialization, because uh, people, maybe the tourists undermine the sacred of the land in that area of tourism. Next. Next. Economic inequality, of course, because there's an like Bali case, yeah, or Maldives. There's an area of like an elite, like an Ubud for rich elite tourist people, but then there is another, like in poor people in Jimbaran or that kind of area where the local are struggling with the economy. Next. Next. Overcrowding, like also infrastructure strain. Next. Next. Displacement and social disturbance, like for example when people are trying to pray in this tourist destination, like for example in Maldives or in Bali, the tourists are drinking and maybe having party too loud, so it makes social disturbance to the community in the area. Next. The security risk, of course, like for example in Bali, because of the tourists came to Bali, the extremists rise in Bali and make people want to protect Bali, and then they try to bomb the tourists, the American and Australian in Bali, because they think that we are invaded and also uh, uh, being abused and violated. Our culture is being abused and violated, something like that. So the security risk is become increased. Next. Yeah, there is a correlation between over tourism and extremism, because once an area become over tourism, full of tourists, the people who have belief system, who have a strong belief in that area, like for example Hindu people or maybe Muslims in Maldives, they try to protect their religion. Like, why you guys coming into my place and then destroying everything and make us difficult in praying, because of, and then bringing alcohol here, like this and that, and then bringing this nasty behavior in a cafe like that, destroying the mentality of our children in the area. So that kind of thing. This is the the important correlation between over tourism and also extremism. Next.
Bu Zora, time is almost up, so please.
Can we go into the conclusion? Please, conclusion, go to the last slide, please. Yeah, so, okay, now, the challenge and the future. Oh, where is it?
Can we back to the conclusion slide, please?
Now, the key is actually in the sustainable tourism, which value the local wisdom and also empowering the local organization. Like in my slide, in the end of it, yeah, Japan, bef before this, the one that before Bali case, sorry, go the before this.
Going
Can you
up,
go
please.
before going up before Bali, please? Going up before Bali. Japan go up before Bali. Before, yeah, okay, this. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this one.
So before Bali.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one.
So yeah, this one. So this is the key. So the challenge and the future of sustainable tourism is actually in the key are lie in the eco-friendly technology and also stronger policy and regulation and community-based tourism that empower the local in Bali, Japan, in some city in Japan, and also in Maldives. And then there is a community education and awareness, and also climate change resilience, and also stakeholder collaboration between the capital city and also in the place that it become a tourist area like Bali, for example, or in Maldives in some island, or in Japan in between the capital city and also the area of the tourism. That's for me. I give it back the floor to Mr. Moderator, Mr. Ibrahim. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ibu Zora. Despite all the challenges
It's
while you
okay.
are
Thank you.
in States, you can present in on time. Maybe I'll open question and answer session from the audience. Maybe there are questions from the audience. Okay, if not, I have some questions, Bu Zora. I think one aspect which is growing now in Bali is not only about the security in terms of physical security, but also monetary security. If we see the phenomenon in Canggu, for instance, Canggu is now becoming the melting pot of all the digital nomad, everyone coming to Canggu. And cryptocurrency development is very much developed in Canggu. So the typical tourism in Bali has dramatically changed. It's not only about tourism as tourism, but also as the place where people can gather, and it's open space innovation sphere where everybody come, which also brings some possible negative impact of money laundering, for instance, or all aspects that are related to monetary security. So my question is, how do you assess this with regards to community based? Because if we are talking about community based, then certainly the gap between the local and the digital nomad is so massive. I mean, the local will not understand what's really going on. So how can we implement community based in this new type of tourism in Bali, which bring many digital talent in good and in bad way?
It's a good question. No, honestly, I cannot answer that question, but I will share you my conversation with the police and also PPATK, our security in finance security people. They said that the hard time, I mean the challenge of uncovering money laundering is actually the lacking collaboration between private banking
Mm.
and also the government. So can you imagine if the police cannot get the information from the private banks? How come the local get information from
Exactly.
this game? Yeah. So actually, your the issue you raise is very important and very like this is our homework at the moment, because
Mm.
there is a
Mm.
layer, like there is a government, and then there is above the government maybe private banking, the one who own all the transaction, and also the government cannot reach into the private banking, and this is local communities below this like don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
anything. So yeah, so that's, I think there's a like a missing coordination among
yeah,
these all
yeah.
three. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you, Biora. Any
thank you so
question?
much.
Yeah. Pak Hidayat or Pak Rudi, Ibu Bu Suci, maybe question? Any question from other? We still have some more time, so I don't want to rush Bu Zora and then suddenly no questions coming up. Then it's better to listen to Bu Zora full presentation. Bu, if there is no question, I have one more question, which probably there were in the presentation, but you don't have time to present. I'm always wondering why Maldives is so advanced in terms of tourism. Like everybody came to Maldives, despite they are 100% Muslim. So I would say that
uh,
Maldives is like Lombok. It's like Lombok. I mean,
yeah,
with the education level, with the religious belief, but how can they set up the tourism industry? Do they cluster, so some area is only for local and some area for foreigners? Because if we see Maldives airport is catering flight from all over the globe. Yeah, I mean, it's probably is the same frequency or maybe even more than Bali in terms of a tourist destination. What is your assessment?
exact. A good question. When I was in Maldives, I saw that there is a. You're right. There is the local that never been combined with the international community, because in the international community they can drink alcohol, they can enjoy Maldives or the island, but then the locals keep like in the corner, never been
Mm.
have no access to the international community, because if they collide, there will be a chaos. So the government try to divide. Like this is a local is a
Yeah.
local, and the local of the Maldives is very extreme. They went to Syria.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So and then these internationals are another separate island. So that's
Mm.
one. And then the second is, I think the military of Maldives are very like, what we call it, maybe more like authoritarian, because the military is like dividing both community. So they have no choice other than to obey the leader and the military, that they live separately.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now Saudi try to be Maldives, like
Mm.
they build like this, like they try to build in the Red Sea, they like
Mm.
in Dubai, and then they try to view themselves in 2030 become like Maldives, like because they don't want to rely on oil anymore, so they want to
Yeah.
rely
Yeah.
on Saudi want to rely on tourism. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a good
But
question. Yeah,
maybe the last follow up, because I'm really interested with tourism topics. So if that is the case, basically the solution is not community based, yeah, because community based doesn't work
yeah, yeah.
in
Yeah,
Maldives.
sometimes sometimes
Um,
in the radical Muslim part, yeah, in the
yeah.
in the area of a radical Muslim, it doesn't work community
Yeah.
based. It's like also in Lombok, for example, when I try to do the research there, they said that, oh, don't do tourism in Lombok, because Lombok people like to steal, different mentality than in Maldives. They are
Right.
not
Right.
educated,
Right.
different. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So Balinese people,
Yeah, in different perspective as
I
well.
think,
In different perspective as
I
well.
think,
Nearby
yeah,
Jakarta, we have Pik, which is very much Chinese culture there. I mean, if
yeah,
we are there, we are like in mini Guangzhou or mini a friend of mine, I mean, one student coming from China taught me that in peak they provide good Chinese food better than in China. Like wow. So while isolating them, yeah, distancing from the mainland of Jakarta, make them more secure. So again, this is a bit of contradictory to your conclusion about the community-based
Yeah,
tourism.
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way in some cases, I think.
Also, the goodness about Bali that is difficult to be replicate in Maldives and also in Lombok is that they are Hindu. Hindu believe in karma. So the caste system
Mm.
is very good in making them believe that your place is there, Sudra. So don't
Yeah,
steal because there's a karma for incarnation and blah blah blah. But we, because of Muslim, don't believe in hierarchy or like that. We can go to another and steal something from another like
yeah,
that. So I
yeah,
think caste system is really good sometimes in tourism. Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Interesting. Thank you so much, Ibu
Thank you
Zora,
so
and
much for your
please give
question.
applause to Ibu Zora for the first presentations. And other presenters, if I can suggest you, you can navigate the presentation by yourself, so you can go rather quickly and fluidly. So Bu Zora is in the US, so maybe some difficulties to access the internet. So we will continue the presentation, and please make sure that this session is not only between me and the presenter. This is for everybody to jump into discussion. So for the next presenter, I will invite everyone to give comments and question. So let's move on to the next presenter. The title is ADHD Children in the Digital Era, Analysis of the Cases of Low Recruitment Rates of People with Disabilities in Private Companies in West Java Province, Indonesia, and will be prepared by Muhammad Hidayat Sahid, Akesan Dahlan, Ratna Daryanti Haryadi, Muhammad Ghazali Masruri, Samsul Anwar, Sultan Ibrahim, and Andriani Pratiwi. And I'm sure Pa Hidayat Said will be the presenter. So please, the time is yours. Be mindful with the time. We don't have enough time to present all the results. So please be concise with your presentation. So the time is yours, Pa Hidayat.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Khalilul. Can you hear my voice clearly, Mr.
Very
Syed?
clear from here. Go
Okay,
ahead, please.
okay. Okay. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. And I'm Muhammad Hidayat Sahid, and today I will present our study. The title is about exploring the potential of Dakon to be therapeutic tools for ADHD. And this is actually part of my doctoral research, which involves collaboration and supervision from Universitas Indonesia and then University Teknologi Mara because I'm doctoral student there, and then University of Erlangga, and also Occupational Therapy Center from Hospital. Our presentation today will discuss how the traditional game Dakon or Congklak can be developed as a therapeutic tools for helping ADHD child. And this is a scoping review. Because this is the first step for related with my doctoral research. Okay, Dakon, also known as Congklak, and then this is a traditional game widely played across Southeast Asia, and Indonesia, also Malaysia, are familiar with this game. Yeah, and then previous studies shown that this game having potential to enhance cognitive and fine motor development for children. This is the evidence base that I found. The slide not move. Okay. Yeah. This is the problem statement. Yeah. ADHD going to be increased, especially after COVID-19. Yeah. Worldwide having 8%, and Indonesia having 5% the prevalence of ADHD. And this is will be need consideration, and we have to make focus to treat this, to solve this problem. Okay. Also, Dakon having good benefit for gaining more attention, and then for improving and for improving some aspect of cognitive development and others, but we have to make some focus attention to this game, because there is no comprehensive review that exploring full range of benefit of Dakon, especially related to becoming therapeutic tools for special needs child. So this is the research question. What are cognitive, developmental, and educational benefits of playing Dakon for children, and how can this supported by empirical evidence to justify to be used to be in therapeutic setting? Okay. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, this study used a scoping review methodology, which is actually a foundational step in our larger research on modifying Dakon for ADHD intervention. And from total of 234 records, we finally selected 15 studies that met in the inclusion criteria. And this is the summary. The 15 studies identify that Dakon having benefit in cognitive skills, fine motor skills, and also others. But the limitation of the studies is still using typical child population, and also another special needs condition that not use ADHD participants. Okay, this is the finding. For sure, I can say that Dakon having contribute to develop in 6 key areas. The first one is cognitive skills, and then fine motor skills, and the third one is social interaction skills, and then sportsmanship, relaxation, and also Dakon having cultural value, especially in Indonesia. Okay, this is the implication. Our findings suggest that Dakon can be effective and engaging tool for both learning and therapy. And by integrating Dakon into classroom or therapy setting, we can support holistic child development using familiar and culturally meaningful approach. And yeah, we then this finding will be become a good one to doing more further research, yeah, including doing modification to the Dakon, and I will do another research about doing prototyping and testing Dakon modification, especially for helping ADHD child. Okay, this is the conclusion that this scoping review reveal the untapped potential of Dakon, not only as a tool of preserve cultural heritage, but also a means to promote inclusive and developmental learning, particularly for children with ADHD. And by combining empirical research with cultural and therapeutic perspective, we can create new engaging intervention based on local context. And then we're able to help ADHD child, especially for attention problem and also fine motor problem. Okay, that's all from me, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the presentations, Pak Muhammad. Very interesting topic. I'll invite others to give comments, maybe a suggestion. Ibu Reni, Ibu Suci, if you have some comments on this very interesting topic, go ahead, please.
Hello. Can you hear my voice?
Very clear, very clear. Go ahead,
Okay,
please.
sorry. Yeah, I'm Suci. I'm very interested in this study. I want to ask the presenter. So, is there any level of ADHD, and what level of ADHD that you think it is more suitable to be given this intervention? Thank you.
Okay, and I will try to answer the question. Actually, ADHD having some level related with the condition. Yeah, of course, for playing this Dakon, the ADHD child have to have good communication skills. They have to able to interact with others. So if the ADHD child still do not having good verbal communication, so they cannot play this Dakon.
Right. So it's a certain level of capability. Yeah. So not for all ADHD
Yes.
children, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
Ibu Suci, does it
yeah.
answer your question?
Okay.
Yes, certainly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Maybe some more questions from others. Meng Liao, as I'm sure Dakon is also influenced very much by Chinese culture. If you have some questions as well, or Ibu Reni, if you have some question as parent.
Yeah. Yeah, may I?
Yes, sure, please.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Pak Ibrahim, for the opportunity. Thank you, Pak Muhammad, yeah, about for your presentations. So this is an interesting research. So may I know the methodology? Do you use the qualitative, quantitative, or observation, or anything? Could you explain more about this? Because this research is quite rare in Indonesia, I think. So it's very interesting. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for the question. Yeah, actually, this is only the first phase of my research. Yeah. So in the first phase, I have to gain the information about Dakon itself and the benefit. So I'm doing a scoping review and then also interviewing OTs and also OT teacher, special teacher, and also culture expert to gaining the information about Dakon and the potential benefit of Dakon if we use to be media in the therapeutic process. And then after that, I doing observational studies too for the ADHD child during playing this Dakon. So I can identify. Yes.
I lost the sound. If anyone experienced the same or
Yeah, Pak Muhammad.
We still can hear it.
It's clear.
oh,
It's
okay,
clear.
okay, go ahead, please.
Okay. So I will continue the answer. So I also doing observational studies to comparing to identify the problem that the ADHD child that when they playing Dakon. For example, they may be having difficulty to following the step or the rules to playing these games and others. After that, I will doing modification to universal Dakon to traditional Dakon, becoming a modification, a modified Dakon. So for the general, actually, I use a DDP process, design and developing product research.
All right. Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, okay.
Bu Reni, does it answer your question already, or?
Yeah, I have two questions more actually. Boleh, Pak
Okay.
Ibrahim? May
Yes,
I?
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Because it's very interesting from vocation, yeah. So is there any another experience from Indonesia about this Dakon research? That's the first thing. That's being very, very the basic the reason of the reason that you choose this thema in Indonesia. Is there any other traditional games that's also influencing the therapy for the ADHD? That's the first one. And then for Dakon itself, the second one for Dakon itself, I believe the most interesting will be the counting process, the first one, 2, 3, because in Dakon you use 7, right? 7 or 9, I forgot when I was child. So we use 9 or 7. So 1, 2, 3. That's improving the attention. That's the first one. And then the second one is the patient, because we know that ADHD children usually less patience, and they need more therapy about that. Could you explain more about those questions? Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, thank you. So for the first one, why I use this Dakon, not other games? Yeah, actually because I'm occupational therapy. During doing therapy process, usually occupational therapy using activities, all of the activities. So basically, Dakon only one of the activities that we usually use to help our client. Why I choose Dakon? Because Dakon actually still easy to find. So we can find it in the toy store, in the marketplace. There are still this is traditional game, but still existing until now. And then I want to improve or I want to develop occupational therapy in Indonesia based on our local context. So I will make these traditional games that still familiar in Indonesia to become a therapeutic tools for ADHD. Some others professional already modified this Dakon, for example, Dakota, to be a media for mathematic learning, but for typical child, not for a special need child. Yeah, because this media able to use in educational system for children. So I think we can use to in context of special needs child. Yeah.
Right.
And then for answering the question number 2, of course we have to modify, because special need child having a lot of barrier, having a lot of problem. So we have to make it simple in the rules, for example, and then we have to modify the physical aspect of Dakon. For example, the cell itself I will make it more bigger, and then I will add the sensory aspect in the self. Yeah, maybe I will increase or making the what's it the the whole becoming more few more short, because in universal Dakon usually having 7. Maybe I just use three, and then we are able to improve into 5, 7, like that.
Okay.
Make it gradually.
Thank you so much, Pak Muhammad and everyone for this very interesting discussion about Dakon. I'm sure why it attracts many questions because it reminds our childhood, yeah, in the peaceful harmony of life. So everyone want to contribute in the discussion. But very shortly from me, if I want to give you comments, maybe it is interesting as Ibu Suci asked you that the ADHD is also containing several spectrum, and we have to be careful in conclusion because it might be related to real implications, and I think each spectrum has different level of acceptability towards this vocational therapy. And then second of all, as Bu Reni asked you as well, maybe it's also interesting to have a quantitative analysis. So with the treatment model, one group is trained with Dakon, one group without Dakon, and see the impact after the trial, so we can be sure beyond the method which is currently using probably more literature review and qualitative approach, if that is possible for you to do. So
Yes.
again, thank you so much, and give
Okay.
big applause to Pak Muhammad Hidayat Sahid with the very innovative topic. Let's move on to the next, the third
Thank you so much.
presenter today is Pak Rudi Hermanto and Hardiansyah from Paramadina University, and the title is Analysis of the Causes of Low Recruitment Rates of People with Disabilities in Private Companies in West Java Province, Indonesia. Pak Rudi, the time is yours, and please keep in mind about timing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ibrahim, for the time and opportunity that given to me, and I would like to share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can. Can you please
Okay.
make it? Yeah, here we go. So please.
Okay, thank you very much for the time and opportunity for me to explain my research and my lecture research about analysis of the causes of low recruitment of people with disabilities in private company in West Java Province, Indonesia. And I will split this into 3 parts from introduction, result, and implications. And I would like to start from these pictures. Maybe from all participants here can guess these questions. How many people with disabilities in these pictures? Can anyone guess? We have 11 persons here, include myself.
Maybe all of them.
All of them?
Yes. Just try to contribute.
Yeah, it's okay, good. Anyone want to guess?
I cannot guess.
Yeah, we cannot guess from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But
One.
anyone? One?
One maybe.
One is possible, but from these pictures, actually, this picture took when I had interview with people with disabilities in LPK Nurfan Prima Education Mandiri. This is one of vocational training institutions that provide development course for deaf persons. Yeah, in these pictures, actually, only 4 of us are non-disabled. Seven persons in these pictures are disabled. And can we imagine how many persons with disabilities in the world? Maybe can anyone guess?
Hmm.
I think a lot of people having
Maybe
disability.
maybe 60%, 60.
Six, 60% of people in
Yeah,
the world.
yeah, from autism, maybe Asperger, ADHD, all combined.
Yes, actually, based on the data that I get, we have more than 1 billion peoples or persons with disability, and of it, we can say that it's 15% of total people in the world are having a disability, and 70% of these persons in working age. We can imagine that many people with disabilities actually in working age, and they have right to get employment. And in Indonesia itself, we have around 16.5 million uh, people with disabilities in working age, and 2.71 million is in West Java, which is this is the highest in Indonesia in working age. Currently, United Nations, SDG, and Indonesia have many effort to improve the participations of people with disabilities in the world. But even in Indonesia has legislation mandatory that private company must recruit minimum 1% of total employee with people with disabilities. But unfortunately, based on the data that proceed that has by Indonesian government, even in West Java, the participation of people with disability is still less than 100%. So that's why this is one of the urgency of the research to know what is the barrier of recruiting persons or people with disabilities. Even there is legislation mandatory based on the government regulation of Indonesia that private company must recruit 1% but still not achieve. So this is such kind of mixed method research approach, explanatory sequential design. We try to conduct survey and then having some interview with HRD practitioner, vocational institutions, and person with disabilities, and also the government, especially one of the city in West Java. And this is the respondent data. Mostly we have survey from recruiters starting from staff positions and also HRD practitioner until director positions, and mostly come from manufacturing company in West Java because many private company in West Java are manufacturing company. And based on this also we get the fact that 1% recruitment fulfillment rate is still not achieved. Even 60% not fulfilled in West Java. And what is the barriers of the recruitment of persons with disability in West Java? Actually, we have 7 category that we try to measures what are the factors affecting recruitment rate of person with disabilities. In this, we have a corporate commitment or company commitment, candidate sources, candidate competence, recruitment process, accessibility and accommodation, government role, and also perception and stigma. And from this, we have 4 high level of constraints starting from candidate sources, recruitment process, accessibility and accommodations, government role. And 3 low-level constraints from company commitment, candidate competence, and perception and stigma that still rise in environment of Indonesia. This is for high constraints starting from candidate sources. This is not utilize effective channels. It means job portal channel that's still not utilized effectively. We have many channels for looking for job, even for disability, but this is still not effective. And then there is lack of partnership with organizations supporting a person with disabilities. Actually, company can have a partnership with vocational training, providing development skill for person with disability. But unfortunately, this is the situation still happen, lack of this partnership. And also limited access to job opportunity, or persons with disability do not have equal access to job opportunity. As we know, we have many types of persons with disability, but the access to job opportunity is different based on the type of persons, the type of disability itself. And then the second one, This is relating to recruitment process. In this recruitment process, there is inadequate recruitment procedure accommodating person with disabilities and also limited recruitment process flexibility, assistance person with disability friendly test tool and flexible time. Having a recruitment process in Indonesia, we have many tests, such kind of psychological tests, written tests, and then also other tests. And the company mostly have the same recruitment procedure or recruitment test both for disabled persons or persons with disabilities. It becomes the obstacle for person with disabilities to show their capabilities due to these limitations. And then the third, this is relating to accessibility and accommodations. In Indonesia itself, many companies still do not provide facility that meet the accessibility standard for person with disabilities, and also lack of adequate facilities supported by the government, such as physical accessibilities, information accessibilities, and disability-friendly technology. And also lack of policy in provision of assistance and flexibility in work schedule or special leave. Actually, a person with disability has a special right or special leave to have such kind of medications, but the policy itself still not developed well. And the fourth, this is relating to government role. We can see that less government supports in this part. This is education of person with disabilities, which is the competency of disabilities is the impact of education of person with disabilities that should be supported by the government. And then incentive that provide the government also still not enough, and public facility support by the government also still not proper for person with disabilities. And then inadequate socializations and ineffective campaign. The government already has regulations concerning about person with disabilities, but the socializations and campaign itself still not effective. And also government has a disability service unit in Indonesia under the employment ministry, but the operations of disability service unit itself still ineffective, even not many companies that know that government have this kind of service unit. And the other three factors, company commitment, candidate commitment, and also perception and stigma, low so low barriers, but the challenge is persists, including the lack of company inclusive policies, limited education or experience of a person with disability candidate, and also lingering negative perceptions. This is the
Time is
implication.
up for you, so please be quick.
Yes.
The time.
Yes,
Yeah.
one more slide. For this is the implications for the governments should promote disability regulations, offer incentive or to inclusive company, improve education system, and develop person with disability friendly job platform, and optimize the disability service unit. For HR practitioner, can start to formulate policy for inclusive recruitment, including adjustment in the selection and training process. And for vocational training institution, can design relevant training program and establish partnership with the industry. And for people with disability itself, can take active and proactive initiative to develop skill with social and professional network, recognize their right in the workplace, and build self-confidence. That's all the presentations from me, and let's give opportunity for person with disabilities, foster fairness and inclusivity in the workplace. And let me know if do you have any questions.
Thank you very much, Pa Rudy, for very interesting and timely topic to be discussed. Before I switch the approach. So before I give to the audience to give comments, I'll give some comments from myself.
Yes.
First of all, disability can be decomposed into several spectrum. Yeah, like
Yes.
Zora mentioned about mental disability. And the mental itself, it can, come into very different degrees. We have physical and mental disabilities. How
Yes.
can we, distinguish between the two? Because the level of absorptions may be different depending on the spectrum of disabilities. Like if you have slight ADHD, maybe still you can join as people. Maybe the interference towards the daily work might not be as big as if you don't have limbs, for instance. You are
Yes.
not mobile enough. So the second question is, this is becoming like chicken and egg problem. I mean, the goal of company is not a social institution. The goal of company is as simple as giving the maximum value for all shareholders. So if I'm not saying that disabled person is less productive, but imagine a company like Samudra Indonesia, my previous company, they employed about 5,000 employees. If it is under regulation to employ 1%, then it might be up to 50 people working, 50 disabled person working in such a very competitive industry. Like they have to go to the field, they have to go to to the port, they have to go to a container depot and stuff. So maybe we have to disentangle as well type of industry and manufacturing industry that can absorb and cannot absorb. Maybe the disabled person more appropriate in services industry more than manufacturing industry due to the the necessity to mobilize. So how do you respond on that? If two questions, the spectrum of disability, and second of all, the appropriate industry cluster that can employ them.
Okay.
So please, Pak Rudy.
Okay, thank you very much for the questions. The first one relating to spectrum of persons with disability. Actually, when we discuss about the category of person with disability, we have four type of person with disability, starting from physical, and then mental, and also sensoric. One more, this is relating to intellectual. This four spectrum or four type of disability, of course, has different acceptance and different treatment. Even in the job placement, also have different acceptance in each company. I try to explain both questions in one answers. Yeah. Looking at these positions, we try to have general research because we just want to open the space first before we try to specify to any kind of or any type of person with disabilities. Based on these very big spectrums, actually we still cannot achieve. And if we go deep to the company itself, currently some company try to achieve the mandatory or compliance to achieving 1%. And the impact of these situations, many companies try just to recruit the low disability situations, not severe disability. For example, if physical disability, just because of no small hand, something like this, or they skin, they can still actively mobile in the company. Or even in service companies, sometimes more prefer for having such kind of mental disability company because they can do repetitive things in service things, and it's very good also. And other things for deaf persons, physically they are very good, but they just have problem with the hearing. They can use sign language, and it's also absorbed by many manufacturing company by providing sign language assistance, something like this. Yeah. Actually, why the spectrum is still wide, because we just want to know based on the actual data how is the big spectrum and the situations in the field.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Rudy. One more question maybe from the
Yes.
audience. Yeah, Pak Muhammad Hidayat Sahid.
Okay. Yeah. For Pak Rudy, this is interesting topic. Yeah. I actually ever involved in Komisi Nasional Disabilitas. Yeah. And that moment regarding to this topic too, we having a lot of barrier with the regulation actually. Yeah, because we try to changing from the charity into the right.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, but the most barrier that we get is the regulation itself. So if without the regulation, I think the private sector will not accept will not accept them. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Okay, yes. Actually, regulation is one of the tools from the government as the how do we say yeah, as how do we say in senjata yeah. If no regulations, I'm sure that the private company also will not recruit persons with disability. I agree with these situations because it also happens when we have interview with some informant from HRD practitioners. Some of the HRD practitioners are forced to recruit due to the regulations. And so that's why mostly they will select the disability types based on the needs of the company that still can cover by the company also. For example, they will recruit just because of do you know like difficult to speak but the physically is okay, something like this yeah, just because of sumbing we say they try to select the type of disability that meet with the company needs but keep aligned with the government regulation. So company hopes that actually this is not charity also for them, but this is opportunity for them. But still meet company needs, something like this. Yes, this is factual that happens.
Thank you so much. I think people are really interested to ask, but the time is very limited. I remember one cafe in
Jakarta.
Jakarta. They employed Down syndrome.
Yes.
So that is one. Maybe as Pa Muhammad also mentioned about the importance of incentive. Maybe company who employ a disabled person, they will have tax deduction, for instance, specific tax deduction. That might stimulate many companies
Yes.
to employ more. So I think without incentive, it will be very difficult for
Yeah.
materializing your idea of giving access to or disabled person in the job market. So thank you so much, Pa Rudy. Come
Okay,
back to
thank you
you
very
if
much.
time is available
For
after all presenters. So let's move on to the next presenter today. The topic is exploring Indonesia's digital infrastructure policy for sustainable and inclusive economic development, an SDGs perspective, presented by Meng Liao. Meng Liao, I believe, is a student at School of Strategic and Global Studies, University of Indonesia. So Meng, the time is yours.
Hi, Professor. I'm going to show my screen. Good afternoon, everyone. My research title is Indonesia's Job, a Digital Infrastructure and Inclusive Growth, an SDG-based analysis. Digital transformation is not only related to Indonesia's own developmental ambition, such as the Golden Indonesia 2045 vision, but also plays a key role in achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. However, challenges remain, especially regional disparities in digital access. This makes it essential to explore how digital infrastructure policies can support sustainable and equal development in Indonesia. With this in mind, our research focused on following core questions. How can Indonesia's digital infrastructure policy promote inclusive and sustainable economic growth in line with the SDGs? To answer this question, we employed three research methods. First, we did a systematic literature review, analyzing academic studies, policy reports, and international documents to explore the link between digital infrastructure and the SDGs. Second, we studied Indonesia's current digital infrastructure landscape, including policy strategies, achievements, and challenges. Third, we conclude a comprehensive case study of China, Singapore, and South Korea to draw practical lessons that can inform Indonesia policy. Existing research indicates that digital infrastructure can significantly contribute to the advancement of these sustainable development goals. The Indonesia government has implicated a range of policies, including the following. However, significant challenges remain. There is a clear urban-rural divide, while urban internet usage is about 74%. Rural usage is only 56%. Eastern provinces and remote islands lag behind in network coverage and quality. Indonesia's geography, with over 17,000 islands, make infrastructure development costly and complex. Fixed broadband penetration remains low, and many households rely on mobile connections. In addition, the study found several long-term economy and government problems. The digital divide makes the gap bigger in education, income, and job opportunities. Financing problems limit infrastructure expansion, especially in rural and low-income areas. Digital talent shortage, particularly in small business and rural areas, make it harder for infrastructure investment to bring more economic benefits. To provide useful policy references, we studied digital infrastructure strategies in China, Singapore, and South Korea. China approach. China studied the broadband China plan to help the internet grow fast. The Internet Plus and the Smart Plus strategy has helped efficiently promote the transformation and upgrading of traditional industries. The East to West Computing Initiative create low-carbon data center in energy-rich regions, supporting sustainable digital growth. Implication: Indonesia can integrate digital infrastructure development with poverty reduction and regional equality as China has done. Singapore approach. The Smart Region Initiative focuses on e-government, digital literacy, and inclusive public service. Programs like Senior Go Digital provide special digital training to elderly citizens. Government-led partnerships with business and communities enhance efficiency. Implication: Indonesia should expand digital skill training, promote citizen-centered e-service, and use public-private people partnership to broaden impact. South Korea approach. South Korea has implemented the long-term strategic plan for digital infrastructure over 3 decades. It leads globally in broadband and 5G coverage and has created first digital government service. Korea invests heavily in STEAM education and lifelong learning to build a strong digital talent base. Implication: Indonesia should prioritize long-term investment, make its digital plan work well with government reform, and give more people technology education and skill training. Based on our finding and international experience, we proposed 5 main policy recommendations. First, increase public investment and diversity financing. Maintain digital infrastructure as a budget priority. Introduce broadband development funds, infrastructure bonds, and strengthen PPPs. Work with multiple development banks for technical and financing assistance, thus mobilize the private sector and international resources to address the infrastructure funding gap in rural areas. Second, improve rural and encourage business to take part. Let telecom companies share their network to save costs and reach more people around MVNOs to increase competition and service quality. Simplify approval process for permits and reduce regulation problems. Third, expand digital skills and local application. Integrate digital literacy in school courses. Offer free training to youth job seekers and rural communities. help small business use digital tools by giving them money and setting up support centers. Developed localized apps in multiple languages for rural uses. Fourth, the government should carry out inclusive policies to reduce the digital divide. This means providing price support and device subsidies for low-income people and building village information service center. In this way, digital infrastructure can benefit anyone, especially poor and weak groups. Finally, Indonesia should strengthen international cooperation. It can use platforms like the United Nations, ASEAN, and Chinese Digital Silk Road to bring in more money, technology, and training programs. At the same time, it should learn from international experience to make sure that policies are carried out well. Our research gives new idea by connecting digital infrastructure, economic development, and the SDGs in one system. This fills a gap in both research and policy discussion. Looking to the future, we believe research should focus on this. We believe that with efficiency policies, Indonesia can turn digital infrastructure into a strong, sustainable, and inclusive driving of growth, contribution to ASEAN and global development. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Meng Liao, for the presentations. We have 7 minutes to discuss. So please, anyone? Ibu Reni, maybe you have some comments on Meng presentation?
No, no, Pak Ibrahim.
Yeah, okay. Pak Muhammad Hidayat, any comments for Meng?
No, sir.
No? Pak Rudy?
No specific question.
Okay. So, Ibu Zora, any comments for these presentations from your side? Okay. If not, then probably I will have some question to respond. So you compare some countries with Indonesia in terms of digital infrastructure policy, but given that Indonesia is very different to others, we have archipelago country with many islands. Infrastructure development is very expensive. We are not we are not mainland type of country, like unlike China or Vietnam or Australia. So everything is very expensive here to be invested. So what would be the best solution for Indonesia to achieve decent level of infrastructure, digital infrastructure development, knowing that we are not similar to the countries you mentioned. We are not the same as Korea. We are not the same as Malaysia. We are not the same as China in particular. So what will be the best strategy for us to moving forward?
Thank you for your question. Regional gaps are quite obvious in Indonesia because of its unique geography. It is made up of thousands of islands. That makes it really hard to cover all areas with traditional digital infrastructure, which usually needs a lot of investment. For a country like Indonesia, that is not very practical. One possible solution is to use new technology like Elon Musk Starlink, which can offer faster and cheaper internet access. If combined with government support and subsidies, this approach could be a much quicker and more affordable way to improve connectivity across the country.
Yeah. One last question from my side is you mentioned that Indonesia should participate in Belt and Road Initiative. How practically the policy should be implemented by government of Indonesia? Road Silk Initiative. Did you mention about that? Silk Road. Can you go to your last last slide of your presentation, please? Can you present your last slide?
I think Indonesia participate in digital Silk Road can take several particular forms. First is infrastructure cooperation. Invite Chinese companies and financing to help build key digital projects like fiber networks, 5G, data centers, and later internet in Indonesia. Second, technology transfer and training. Promote ICT technology transfer through joint projectors and establish digital training center to build local talent. Third, join initiative hubs that up digital economic zones in collaboration with China to support collaborations in AI, e-commerce, and fintech between Indonesia and China firms. Fourth, regulatory alignment. Work on harmonizing digital standards and data security rules to enable smooth cross-border digital trades and inclusive digital governments. Finally is multiple engagement. Activity practical in multiple platforms such as the RCEP, lancing, making cooperation, and the Digital Silk Road Business Alliance to enhance policy cooperating and knowledge exchanging. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ming. Thank you, and give big applause to Ming Liao, who has been presented the topic very well. Last but not least, let's move on to the last presentations in this session. The topic is about tobacco control as the pathway to urban resilience, integrating smoking cessation into community health system in Indonesia, and will be presented by Ibu Reni, Fadila, Rizky, Suci Puspitarati, Ariana Salsabila, but I'm sure either Bu Reni or Bu Suci will present the presentation. So the time is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Doctor. I will be presenting this presentation. Let me share the slide first. Okay, hopefully it is shown now.
It is clear. Can you please make it a full page?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Good day, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to present at this conference. My name is Suci Puspitarati, and I'm working with Dr. Reni Nur Hasana, who is currently in this meeting room. Today, we will be sharing the findings from our research on how tobacco control, specifically smoking cessation, can play a pivotal role in building urban resilience in Indonesia. I'll begin with a brief introduction, followed by our objectives, methodology, key findings, and then conclude with the policy implications and recommendation. Let's start with the introduction. So, Indonesia's urban areas are at a crossroads with rapid urbanization has brought with it challenges such as rising health burdens, growing economic disparities, and environmental pressures. And with these complex issues, tobacco use remains a significant but often overlooked contributor to public health strain. Indonesia is among the world's largest consumers of tobacco. We are well known as the paradise of smokers. We can see everyone smoke in Indonesia, and it is perceived as normal in Indonesia. Despite policy efforts in recent years, smoking prevalence remains alarmingly high, especially among both adults and youth populations. While there have been some advancements in tobacco regulation in our country, our smoking cessation services remain fragmented and largely underutilized. This gap is especially concerning in under-resourced urban areas where people are more vulnerable to health and economic shocks. Integrating cessation services into community health systems may be a critical step forward, not only for improving individual health outcomes, but for enhancing the resilience of entire communities. So our study aimed to analyze how smoking cessation policies and programs are or are not integrated into Indonesia's local health systems and social protection schemes. We wanted to understand how these services might support broader goals of urban resilience and equity. We use a qualitative case study approach, combining literature review, policy document analysis, and focus group discussions. Our participants included government officials, civil society organizations, and public health experts who are directly engaged in cessation programming or policy. Our research was guided by the Empower strategy. This is a global framework for tobacco control recommended by the WHO. We focus specifically on the O component, which is offering help to quit tobacco use. And we explore how this support is currently being delivered and what's missing from the system. We use thematic content analysis and triangulated findings from different sources to identify systemic strengths, gaps, and potential opportunities. And this approach also helped us capture both technical and political dimensions of the issue. So our first major finding is that cessation services in Indonesia are highly fragmented. Most programs operate in isolation and lack coordination with broader systems like social protection, school health programs, or even basic urban services. And in low-income neighborhoods where smoking is often seen as a coping mechanism, this fragmentation severely limits effectiveness. And second, we found that tobacco use exacerbates health and economic vulnerabilities. The diversion of household income towards tobacco products often comes at the expense of nutrition, education, and basic healthcare. These threats of reduce household resilience and increase susceptibility to shocks such as job loss or illness. Effective cessation programs could reverse some of this dynamic by reducing non-communicable disease burdens, increasing economic productivity, and improving social stability. Third, we identified institutional and political fragmentation as a major barrier, and the tobacco industry continues to influence public policy through CSR programs, lobbying, and strategic partnership with local governments. This interference undermines cessation efforts and prevents the development of strong, coordinated programs. Moreover, Indonesia's continued refusal to ratify the Framework Convention of Tobacco Control, or FCTC, it also weakens international accountability and enables further industry penetration into policymaking. However, despite these challenges, there are clear opportunities. Like first, smoking cessation programs can and should be leveraged as equity tools. When integrated into local health systems and aligned with urban resilience strategies, cessation initiatives can have a multiplier effect, benefiting not only for public health, but also urban planning, education, and also social services. To make this a reality, strong political leadership and cross-sector collaboration are essential. We need a shared commitment and clear accountability mechanism to embed cessation into broader development plans. Ultimately, smoking cessation must be seen not as a standalone health initiative, but as a central pillar of resilient city planning. This integration aligns with global best practices and advances both public health and urban sustainability goals. We call this approach as healthier people, healthier cities. To conclude, urban resilience requires a multi-sectoral approach that includes both structural and behavioral interventions. Addressing tobacco use as part of this strategy is not just about reducing smoking rates. It's also about enabling communities to adapt, thrive, and protect their most vulnerable members. By embedding smoking cessation into community health system, we can first reduce the prevalence of tobacco-related disease. We can alleviate poverty through better household economic choices, and then strengthen the overall adaptive capacity of urban population. So Indonesia's pursuit of a more equitable and sustainable urban future must ensure no one is left behind. And tobacco control, particularly smoking cessation, offers a practical, impactful, and necessary pathway toward that goal. So thank you very much. I will look forward for your questions and thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ibu Suci, for the presentation. I think this is very interesting topic that I'm sure everybody will have some interest to jump into discussion. So please, anyone, Pak Rudi, please, Pak Hidayat.
Okay. Yeah, this is the interesting topic because yeah, I'm a man, but unfortunately I'm not smoker. So,
That's
yeah.
fortunately or unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Related with this one, I think we are having a dilemmatic moment. Yeah, because our sport activities getting most bigger sponsorship from this tobacco company. So it's kind of what is it? Our health system, sport is healthy, right? But their wardrobe will having a big name of the tobacco company. So yeah, I think this is dilemmatic. I want to have your opinion about this one. And then the second one is when we go to Japan, for example, yeah, they are having some place for smoking, and the people in the community also having good awareness that if they want to smoking, so they have to go to that place. But in Indonesia, I think still not. It's still very bad. Yeah, we have a very bad culture about this one. I want to know about this one too. Yeah, I think that's for me. From me.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Maybe Dr. Annie wants to answer first.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably Rati will continue my answer. Yeah. Pak Muhammad, about the tobacco industry interference. So we knew that most of the cigarette company or tobacco company in Indonesia, dominantly using the normal way, or I think that's illegal for giving the scholarship or sponsorship. That's called TII, and that's the homework for tobacco control in worldwide, not only in Indonesia but also on the worldwide. So the government's homework or challenge is how to reduce the intervention from the industry. So we need the intervention from the NGO, non-governmental organization, to campaign about this intervention and ask the government to reduce the intervention. For example, like one of the tobacco company, gives the scholarship for I think for the education itself, and also for the sports, as you mentioned before. So the challenge is how the government can separate and please the government don't rely on the fund based on they say CSR, but actually this called TII, tobacco industry interference. And then the second one in Japan, they in Japan they are one of the tobacco company, Japan Tobacco, also produced and owned by government, I think. And then they have the strict regulation as same as in other developed country. Actually, in developed country, they need 30 years, 40 years before they arrive on this state of tobacco control. So, for example, United States of America needs 30 years, and then Australia needs 40 years. And now they have the current tobacco price 400,000 rupiah for one pack in Australia. So it increased dollar by dollar, and then they tried by the hardest things within the 40 years, and they arrive on this current state. And we started in Indonesia 20 years ago, actually, as same as Thailand, as same as probably Malaysia and Philippines and other Asian region. But actually in Indonesia, we have the more difficulties because in other countries, there are sunset industries for the tobacco, but in Indonesia, I think the sunrise, because in this worldwide, all of the region, big region, already ratified the FCTC, or we call it the Framework Convention of Tobacco Control. So if one country agreed to ratify this, then we should do the strict regulation for selling or promoting the cigarette. And then in Indonesia, I think Japan already ratified this for FCTCs. That's why they have the stricter regulation. But in Indonesia, actually, even we don't have that ratification, but last year, 2024, we signed the ratification, not ratification, we signed the PP implementation, so government regulation for number 28. That's adapt the ratification content. That's why we already have the rules not to smoke in the public space, and we are waiting for the implementation, because until now, until this year, 1 year after the declaration of PP, it's still not being implemented yet. Thank you. Please, Rati, if you want to add some more.
Yes, I want to add some answer, especially about the second question. So in Indonesia, the smoke-free regulation is it is under the local government regulation. Yeah, and maybe the main problem is the enforcement. I think this is common for any regulation in Indonesia about the enforcement. For example, in Thailand, if we smoke in public spaces, we will be fined like around maybe 1 million rupiah in Thailand. But in Indonesia, if we smoke in public spaces, even in the forbidden places, there will be there is no people who will arrest us or just to say no to us. I mean, I think the main problem is the enforcement, and even the local government doesn't have like tool to to implement the smoke-free regulation itself. And regarding the first question, so I think since the tobacco industry tried to portray themselves as the kind industry, as they are a good party. So as you mentioned that it means that it works. They now can portray themselves the good party. So. But what people don't know is that our economic burden and health burden due to tobacco is much higher than the revenue we received from the tobacco industry.
Yeah. Right. So thank you so much, Bu Reni and Mbak Suci and Pak Muhammad for the question. Is there any justification already or empirical data that mention the loss from tobacco is bigger than revenue from the industry? Any academic
Yeah.
research and
Yeah.
calculation which
Yeah. Maybe I can search the link and then I will give you the link if you want
sure
to
sure
read the
sure
full, the full
because
research. Yeah, but yeah.
because usually what is calculated is not that I'm supporting tobacco, but if we have to to bring this forward on the policy, um, the loss from the industry is kind of the real cost, the accounting cost that we can detect easily from the financial report due to limitation and stuff. Then profit will decline, employment will gone and stuff. But the economic loss from the health is, basically intrinsic costs, like we can detect from health statistic and the counterfactual disease and stuff. So not the real cost per se, which is apple to apple to the cost of losing jobs, for instance. So maybe there usually we have accounting costs and economic costs, like Bu Reni is also economist, which is not actually apple to apple comparison. So maybe if there is justifications and real calculation for this, it will be very interesting and important evidence that we can bring forward.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you for raising this this question.
Yes.
So yeah, maybe Bu Reni will also answer, but it is correct that the burden is mostly from the health impacts such as the health related diseases due to smoking that make our economics condition decrease due to the cost of that. But maybe Bu Reni can also add some answer about that.
Yeah, a little bit about the economic cost, because economists usually use the data and they use rupiah, dollar, and so on. Actually, we have the calculation. So Pak Teguh, health economist from FEB, and also from Kemenkes, from Ministry of Health, already calculated. I think it's 4 times. It's more than the revenue, the excise, the revenue of excise is less than the health cost, actually. But the difficulties is that the the health cost is usually um it's very difficult to be counted, because
Mm,
when somebody's passed away, probably we can reflect into the how many. Yeah, it cannot be calculated as easier as that, right? Because somebody passed away, and then how much for the value, and then and somebody's suffer from
mm.
the sickness, and so on and so on. It's very difficult to be denominated. I think that's the challenge,
Mm.
and until now, the Ministry of Finance also looking for that real exactly for the counting. But I think it's a little bit difficult for the details. Okay, thank you, Dr.
Thank you
Ibrahim.
so much. Thank you, Bu Reni. Thank you, Bu Suci Rati. Maybe we give a big applause for the last presentations. Yeah, we already have gone through all the topic and very interesting. Thank you for the link, Rati. I'll copy it. We have been going through several topics from tourism and then disability and ADHD treatment, and then Indonesia's digital economy, and last but not least, about tobacco control. So many topics, and it is not very. It's very common that we learn many things during the Sunday evening. So thank you so much for staying with us. And last but not least, the officer will take picture for us. Please, Anyone from Panitia who will take picture for us? Buzora, can you please turn your video on so we can...
Okay, I will take the picture. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining this very interesting session, and I look forward to see the final study from all of you. This is very promising, and everything has a strong policy impact for the future of Indonesia. So thank you so much, and with that, I'll conclude this session, and we see you in next year ICGS conference. Don't forget to to fill in the attendance list. And as already mentioned by ICSGS committee, we'll back to the main room. Thank you so much, and bye-bye for now. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much,
so
Mr.
much.
Moderator.
Thank you. Thank you.